Hi, I'm Marley.
I'm Maria.
And I'm Kendra.
Welcome to Cafe Hachidori.
And what are you guys drinking today?
I've got myself some mint tea. It's the last of my peppermint tea, actually. So from this point on, I'm going to be drinking green tea and a different type of mint tea.
Ooh.
I don't know how that one's going to taste, but this is good.
Good deal.
I have this lovely, lovely, lovely gift that Maria brought back for me from Japan, which is just like, a regular black tea, but it has this cute little dehydrated lemon that's shaped like a heart, and I love it.
I've never heard somebody say dehydrated lemon.
That's what it is. It's a dehydrated lemon.
Most people say dried lemon.
Same thing. It's the same difference.
I have Coca-Cola that's peach flavored.
Ooh.
Coca-Cola.
That seems like it would either be really good or really terrible. How is it?
It's, so, like most episodes, this is from the monthly care package that's all the way from Japan, so it's like a Japanese peach flavor. It's really nice.
Okay.
What's the difference?
So, it's a whole different type of peach. It's not the yellow peach that you see in America. This is a white peach.
Oh, okay. So we're going to jump right in to the magical girl tropes of Madoka. Do I need to say the entire title of Madoka?
No.
I don't think so.
So, magical girl tropes. I don't know if our audience, chances are those of you who are listening do know what the magical girl tropes that we're talking about are. I'm talking one color for each girl in the group, starting with pink most of the time because pink is the color of the main character.
Yeah, that's a thing.
We're talking the adorable animal sidekick character. Let's see, can we name some? Luna?
Yeah, there's always Luna.
Artemis. There's Coco and Nuts from one of the later Pretty Cure series.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Carol-chan for Cardcaptor Sakura.
I just realized Tokyo Mew Mew doesn't have a sidekick.
Oh, really?
Because they're all animals.
Oh, well, that would do it.
Transformation sequences. The unnecessarily long transformation sequences.
But then always have the really, really awesome, powerful, girl power music as they go through it.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, what are the villains doing? Are they just watching, waiting for them to be done with it?
He's just sitting there the f*** are they doing?
It's nah, it's okay. This gives us more time to work on our plan as they go through this entire thing, because each one of them has to do it individually, so this gives us at least a good 10 minutes.
That's true. It's not even that they all go through it together, and it's it goes from one to the other, to the other, to the other.
Technically, it's supposed to be at the same time, but we as the viewers don't see it like that.
Right. The good guys always win.
Do they?
Always. Yes.
In magical girl shows, yes.
Which of those tropes do we want to talk about in terms of how Madoka goes about it and changes that?
The only thing that doesn't change is the color thing.
It doesn't, but I guess that only works in their benefit to play on the whole happy-go-lucky trope of this is a normal magical girl series.
Yes, I was completely fooled.
Yeah, and then they rip the rug out from under you and punch you right in the feelings.
Yep.
We can start with the transformation sequences.
It's funny because they don't have a set sequence, and they don't even change that much in the actual TV series.
They don't.
In the movie, they probably only show that transformation sequence once per character in the beginning.
Yeah, it's once they've established the transformation sequence, they basically never really show it again, which is something that I kind of adore about it, because you don't need to see it every single episode. It kind of just becomes a repetitive thing. It's just hey, yo, we did this over there. We're coming into this battle already in our outfits. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about that.
Yeah, that's about it.
Adorable animal sidekick. Kyubey is not an adorable animal sidekick.
My feelings are so hurt over Cube.
Adorable, yes, but not a sidekick.
I wanted him to be cute and the nice traditional animal sidekick that's helpful and supportive, and turns out he's actually f***ing Satan, but it's fine. I'm not salty at all. I mean, could you even consider it a psychopath considering that he's an alien from a different species? Maybe that's normal for them.
It is, and that's their ideology.
Still though.
Really f***ed up, but yeah, that works. I'm sorry, I keep swearing. I'm just upset.
It's okay.
And it's his position as that animal sidekick, quote unquote, is really convenient for him, and it's deceiving for everybody, including the audience. So it's convenient because he gets to keep a really close eye on the girls and see firsthand what they're doing and making sure that they're doing their job to help the universe and their species, and deceiving because, again, he looks cute and he doesn't do anything directly to anybody.
So, on to the next one. Love will save the world, or happily ever afters, or hope, peace, everything is gonna be okay. Trope. Should I say episode 3? Episode 3 is a very wonderful example of that.
I'm still bitter.
That was... Yes.
Mommy's death.
The episode that did it for everybody.
Then we also had Sayaka's death, and Kyoko's death, and Madoka's death 10 billion and a half times. And
I mean, I guess, like, even the first time that I saw, like, Mommy die, I was like, oh, this is some sort of joke. She's, like, a magical girl. She gets to do the thing where they, like, regenerate or, like, kind of, like, pop back in, because she seemed to be such an integral part of the introduction and the guidance into all of this that it just, like, it didn't even click for me that it was possible that they actually killed her off.
Yes, that was the thing. I was incredibly shocked because I signed up for this as a magical girl anime, and typically they don't show anything that gory or brutal.
And her death was very brutal.
It was brutal, and it came out of nowhere because we could have sworn that Charlotte was already dead.
But I think that's kind of one of the interesting ways in this that sort of breaks the trope, is just that there are these really almost realistic in the way that it, like, reflects the real world and how brutal these girls' deaths are and how real the danger is. Because usually when you watch kind of like a magical girl anime, you're like, oh yeah, there's danger, but they'll always come in to save the day. Or even if somebody dies, because the show's kind of about this group of people, they can't ever really be killed off and they'll come back somehow. And so it feels like just by being able to kind of fall into that comfortableness of the trope that they set up, that you kind of expect everything to be okay even when things get dark, and so it makes it not as hard to see that happen.
Additionally, if we look at it in terms of love being the way that they save the world in general, just other than the girls, like, dying and having a very depressing, like, everything, they save themselves and the world through grief and depression, because the witches' cores are called grief seeds, and a magical girl falls into being a witch because of depression and grief. So the way that they save, and they don't save the world by, like, saving the girl's soul, they save the world by killing her.
Yeah, and
so
even, like, in the way that, like, if you look at, like, Mami and, like, Homero's story of, like, how they became magical girls, their birth into that is through something terrible and desperate, and through that sort of a same grief.
Right, so there's really no love or compassion
at all.
There's nothing good that happens here in this particular universe, and it's fine.
And then when there is love and compassion, it gets corrupted. So, like, Kyoko becoming a magical girl to save her dad, or for her dad, and Sayaka becoming a magical girl for her best friend. They did it out of love and out of pure intentions, but then everything got corrupted from there.
Yeah, it's like, what's that saying? The road to hell
is paved with good intentions. So, on that note, though, one of the other magical girl tropes that is often there is the cute magical girl versus the ugly truth of growing up, or the ugly woman of being, like, an adult. So, like, in there's the magical girls, and then if there are any, like, adult figures that are helping the girls through their journey or anything, it's typically men, not women. And oftentimes women are the villains of the entire, like, of the series, or of specific parts of the series. Not always, but it's like there's the whole attack on growing up, so it's like innocence versus no longer being innocent. In this, they go at that in the sense of all the witches are considered ugly. So the first witch that they interact with, Sayaka calls, like, disgusting. And then later on, when you find out that the witches are all originally magical girls, which are super cute, it kind of comes off as a sort of bitter moment of realization that all these creatures that we thought were ugly and disgusting and horrible, because they kill people and they're killing themselves, and everything about them is actually just the magical girls who have been changed into them. So I read this article on how there is this dichotomy and how Madoka fails to address it properly. When they become a witch, their labyrinth becomes their creativity. and through their despair, they're able to express themselves in ways that they weren't able to before. But then when Madoka makes her wish, she ends up denying them of that because she denies them of the ability to become witches. And as I quote, "In taking the magical girl's despair upon herself, Madoka has not saved them, she has trapped them further by ensuring their complete erasure, the moment of hope or magic fails, and sapping all creative embodiment powers from their grief." So Madoka basically makes it so that all of their suffering no longer is unjust. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, just sit still and be pretty and everything's gonna be okay for you. Which I don't agree, because when a rebellion comes into it, and because Homura is the main character, when you look at it from Homura's perspective, Homura does everything but sit still and be pretty to, like, make sure that no one else goes through, like, the horribleness. And Homura doesn't think that Madoka's wish was the right wish. Homura, in that sense, and through rebellion, takes the idea that magical girls are a fundamental problem, and with Homura becoming a witch herself, she not only rejects Madoka's childish ideal, but she also accepts the fact that she has to grow up and she can't keep that innocence anymore. So it's kind of like why I think that you have to take Rebellion and the original series and put them together in order to look at the way that this series kind of goes at the magical girl trope of innocence versus, like, corruption and cruelty, because it says that it's important to be innocent, but it says that being too naive and involved in your innocence hurts more people than it should. And I know that a lot of people, when they look at the ending, they're like, oh, well, after all this depression, Madoka comes and saves the day and there's hope. And I'm like, I don't get that reading. Do you guys get that reading for the ending?
No, but just going into the whole idea of innocence, I think that you're completely right. I don't get that sense from the end of the movie at all, and the way that it kind of comes off to me is it's very much this balance of Kyubey kind of sucking these girls in for the intent to do something good and to make a really positive change, and to be able to, you know, they all do this because they think that by making this contract with Kyubey that they're going to be able to gain the power to make an effective change in a good way. But it's really just him being able to kind of feed off of that almost like gross amount of like nativity to it, and to be able to kind of take that, and then as they realize that their wishes and their intent, while good, is just not something that ever shakes out to really work for, does push them into that depression. And it makes sense. It's almost like a very intentional cycle of pulling in these girls that are innocent to have them kind of fall into that depression, to become witches, to be killed by other magical girls who then become, it's just this whole kind of a vicious cycle. But I think it's a very accurate and a very representative cycle of a way that a lot of people feel when they want to be able to try to make a positive impact on something, but they get sucked in, they get bogged down in all of the mechanics as to why things that are the way that they are in the first place, that they just end up becoming part of the cycle and part of the machine, and nobody ever actually makes that much of a difference anyway.
It's all very scientific once you think about it.
It is, and that's kind of like the evil brilliance of Kyubey's character, is he's just kind of capitalizing on this whole thing that happens the way that it happens. Although I do think it's kind of interesting, is there's almost kind of like a Judas-esque like parallel now for Kyubey.
Yeah.
Judas, no!
Et tu, Brute? Yes, because Kyubey will stab you 20 times in the middle of the Senate and let you bleed to death on the floor.
And it will say, continue, what were you saying? While he watches you bleed.
Jesus, I bring you frankincense and myrrh. Oh, thank you. Murder! Judas, no!
Please tell me that's an actual video.
Alright, anything else you want to add, you guys?
No, I think I'm good.
My feelings hurt. That's all I have to add.
Okay, let's wrap on up.
Okay. If you like what you heard, please like and subscribe.
And leave us some comments below and answer questions, because we didn't ask it. I'm sorry.
Take two.
Take two! Leave us some comments below.
You can still say ask us questions.
Yeah, ask us questions, and if you have any comments on the questions that, like, because I did ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Take two. Or three.
4, whatever. Math. Leave us some comments below. If you have anything to add to the discussion, please leave us, more comments. Why can't I do English? Why can't I speak English? I promise it's my first language. What the hell?
It's okay.
Oh my god.
Is it really anyone's first language?
No. Like, what the hell is wrong with me today? Okay. Okay. Take 4. If you'd like to join in this discussion, please leave us some comments below. Ask us some questions. If you have any insights into the stuff that Marley asked earlier, please add them.
And we hope you join us again at Cafe Hachidori.
Bye.